Most architects and students obsess over floor plans, and I used to think it's the proper way to start drawing buildings as well. Floor plans are okay at showing where things are, but sections? They show how a building works. A section shows the quality of a space. Through height, openings, and light, it can tell a better story and actually sell the design. So let's explore an idea by sketching a section first instead of a typical floor plan. And let's start with a boring one like this one to see if we can improve it and reveal spatial qualities that a floor plan can't really show. Let's dive in. Let's draw a boring section of what might be an office building or an apartment building. This would be the ground, right? And let's add the stories. This is pretty boring. Nothing's happening, but many designs look like this. And my tutors always used to tell me to start with really rough pencil and slowly as the design progresses to get a fine one as we know more details. We have this. Let's imagine that instead of having 6 floors that are exactly the same, what if, I'm just thinking out loud here through my pencil, what if there was an actual atrium, like a vertical one, like this, right? So just as I make the decisions about what to add, I'm thinking about what to keep, and what if this was actually sticking out a little, cantilevered. Architects love cantilevers. I'm thinking, just as I see this, it would be cool to have a little bit of overhang in here, and maybe just a little bit of thickness to the frame of this whole thing. And I'm thinking it's probably going to be very glazed. I want to use just a thinner line, and maybe it will have some structural elements to it. Look at that, we're getting somewhere which is a lot more interesting. And I want to be more clear on where are the actual openings. Maybe they'll be here, and maybe they'll be here, and probably on the other side as well. This could be very much opened, and probably these, right? And look at that, where we've gone in a few strokes. And I'm thinking there can be an actual entrance. Maybe the entrance is like very inviting. So when there's an actual guy in here, this might be the scale of things maybe. Opening is actually very inviting, but then it gets smaller in height, as we can see in here. And then it would be cool if we, as we often do, if we had a double space, double height opening in here, as we very often see at the ground level of office buildings, at hotel lobbies and similar. So basically we want to be invited, get wowed by the entrance, get really small in here, and then be wowed again by the high space that's being offered here. There might be an opening, there might not, I don't know yet. I don't have all the answers, I'm just thinking as I go. And now I'm trying to pay a little more attention to the line weight. So what's thick, what's thin, where I'm actually cutting through a structure, where it is just in elevation. And look at that. We've gone from a very boring to something that has the potential to offer interesting spaces. And I would love to explore it further. As I'm looking at it, very often we are trying to make the most out of the footprint. So we also add one more story at the top, but in such a way that it's not really visible from the ground, right? So we add the square meters, but actually someone sitting or standing down, they can't really see it from either side, right? Again, just letting my ideas flow, nothing else. Nothing set in stone, we're just sketching, having fun, exploring ideas. Okay, how do we take it further? I like this double height space. So what if we focus on that for a little? So if I take that into a bigger detail, let me make a selection. Just select this, maybe even with the guy. And I want to make a copy. And when I have it copied like this, I actually want to put it to the top layer. So I moved it from this layer 1 to layer 2. If we have this double height space, very probably we might have a staircase there. I don't know how big it's gonna be. Maybe it's gonna be here in the middle, going up. And we'll have the stairs here, and there will be an opening there. And maybe there is a little bit of opening for more light up there. So we would have light coming up. Okay, so we're exploring this idea of this 7-story building. And let's draw this in a 1-point perspective so we can feel the space a little better, especially with the staircase and the double height space. So the first thing I want to do is to just draw freehand and get the sense for how this would translate into perspective. I like to start with the horizon line, and we'll have strong vanishing point, probably, you know, at the height of this guy, and maybe somewhere dead center in here in the lower space. So we'll have a vanishing point here. I like to draw a little human figure for the scale as well. Getting the very base of a perspective. We'll have the height and a little bit more for the actual ceiling. I'm just following this, right? And we'll have somewhat like this. I'd like to move it a little so it's more like this. Again, nothing set in stone. I'm just quickly sketching out ideas on the spot. And this should probably align well. Maybe there's some slab thickness with the staircase, which will go in this direction. And because it's it seems like really long staircase, it's probably going to have a middle landing. And of course, these inclined planes should have their own vanishing point above my primary vanishing point. That's where they all should meet, right? As you can see, it's getting very messy, a lot of construction lines. I guess that'll be enough for the rough undersketch. And I'll actually use the perspective tool here with 1-point perspective. We have 1, 2, and 3-point perspective set up. 1 is just fine. I want to move it here so it helps me guide my lines. And yeah, suddenly we're getting somewhere. I can use the ruler with infinite angle to help me with the staircase. Let me add these guys. Lastly, to add a little bit of surface color to some of the surfaces, so we distinguish between what's really hard, opaque material and what's windows and what's open and what's closed. Let's do it with the roller brush actually.
If you're new to Morpholio Trace on iPad and would appreciate a quick start, I have a free short training for you linked in the description, which goes slower, step by step, and also includes downloadable project file, color palette, and textures so that you can learn by doing.
A little bit of a texture. as a concept sketch, I think that'll do. Let's take a look at the whole composition. We went through pretty boring initial section drawing, which we worked on, improved upon, developed further, and now we're getting into the gist of designing a space, the entrance space, how that could feel. And you can see that working with a section drawing where we can see different heights and where the light comes in is driving a lot more interesting discussions about the space, rather than just building it from a floor plan and trying to just extrude what we see in a 2D top-down view. So I find this approach actually helps with the design process itself. Let me know if this resonates with you, and if you like this video, there are more videos like this on my channel. I'll see you in another one. Cheers!